Okay. Looks like we are live, so I want to welcome everyone to our annual board meeting. It's January 27th, 2021, and just a few minutes after 6 p.m. It's 6:05 p.m. Thank you all for joining us and being here with us for our annual meeting. And I will turn it over to Alex for our housekeeping.
I am just I had to get my house in order there. Okay. Thank you so much, Heather. I am so delighted to have so many people joining us this evening virtually, a much different format than we're accustomed to be sure. So I wanted to go over some housekeeping as it relates to the way in which you can participate this evening. So I'm Alexandra Nicholas Kuhn, Executive Director of the Massillon Museum, and we do have other staff members here behind the scenes who are helping to facilitate the technical aspects of this meeting. We are streaming this live to YouTube as per requirements of our bylaws and in the spirit of transparency. So if at any given time you get kicked off the call or you need to come back to YouTube to the meeting, you can either join back in or you can visit our YouTube page to see the stream. You all as members have the power to vote tonight, and there will be 5 votes in which you have the ability to participate. All of the boxes you see on the screen right now represent some staff and board members, and they as panelists have the ability to speak and also to vote. You all won't be able to have your microphones activated, but any of you, our members, can participate, and we encourage you to participate in the vote, and any and all of you can ask questions as well. So we've enabled both the chat and the Q&A features, and we have staff members, namely Anna, monitoring those. So if Heather and I don't see you make motions or ask questions, Anna will bring those to our attention. So not to worry, there is a platform here, several platforms on which you can be heard and your votes be voiced. So whenever Heather calls for a vote, I will post a poll and you can click on either yes or no. And then I will display the voting record after that, and it becomes part of the record of the meeting. So we have some formal business to conduct, but we also have some fun things to share with you and also some reflections on the past year. We have enabled you to use the raise hand function too. So any board members or members of our membership in attendance tonight can also raise your hand. And I hope you feel compelled to participate as much or as little as you wish, but I do hope that you'll all participate in the vote. Okay, I think that is all as it relates to housekeeping. Also, at any given time, if there's anything you can't see or there are any technical glitches you experience, please feel free to put those in the chat as well so that we can help rectify it, anything on our end. And with that, I would like to take a moment to thank you, all of you here tonight, and to recognize our outstanding board members present on this call. So as I call each of their names, you can either all board members, if you'd like to unclick your video so we can see your lovely faces. As I introduce you, if you could give a little wave, that would be fantastic. So I know she already introduced herself, but honored to have here with us tonight our current chair of the board, Heather Pennington. Our vice chair, Matthew Onest. Our secretary, David Harding. Our treasurer, Phil Elam. I don't see Phil on yet. We also have Robert Garner, Keith Worsler, Jeff McMahon, Gloria Pope, Maud Slagle, and I think Brad Richardson is trying to join us as well. And we have some guests with us some evenings, some prospects who I'll allow Heather to introduce a bit later to you. But thank you all for being such tremendous champions of the museum and for all you do to make the museum the strong, incredible place it is. So I just have a few remarks before we allow the staff to share with you their feelings and reflections on the past year in a wonderful video that Mandy assembled. And someone asked if we should be able to see the identified individuals. Yes, but okay, if you may need to change the settings on another bit of housekeeping on your Zoom parameters. So if you go into the top right-hand corner of your screen, there should be a grid of 9 little squares that says view. And you can control whether or not you want to see just the person who is speaking at any given time, or you'd like to see all of the Hollywood squares and so forth. And I will minimize for the purpose of YouTube when we're showing the video. I'll make it so no boxes are seen, but you should be able to see everyone I see as panelists on the screen. Hope that answers your question. Okay, so as you know, on March 14th, 2020, we were to have a big celebration, a celebration that was more than 10 years in the making, but of course the world had other plans. While the dedication of our expanded facilities did not happen in a formal sense, we did succeed in opening the new permanent collection galleries and ceramic studio for the community in 2020. And there will be a celebration forthcoming when it's safe, when we're past this health crisis and we can gather again. And you will all be among the first to know. We just have to get on the other side of this. And I do want to thank Bob and Nancy Gessner for their continued support and leadership as chairs of the Capital Campaign. We were able to secure during this pandemic some additional and very substantial funding to help close our funding gap in 2020, thanks to the Timken Foundation, the Stark Community Foundation, and the Gessner Family Foundation. There are still funds to raise, and the museum will continue its pursuit of grants and sponsorship to complete the monetary part of the campaign. And as always, your advocacy can help in alerting others to opportunities for sponsorship, naming rights, and planned giving. So there are still a lot of opportunities for you to be recognized and participate and help others understand the options available for helping support the Capital Campaign. I also wanted to mention, as I shared with our board earlier, the fact that this is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. I wanted to acknowledge the museum's commitment to preserving the story of Nellie Toll, a hidden child of the Holocaust, who retained a sense of hope for a better world through painting imaginary worlds on paper. Her story was translated by the Massillon Museum, as many of you know, into a traveling exhibit starting in 2014, which ensures the suffering and loss she and her family endured not be forgotten, but also that we remember art has a tremendous ability to offer hope and to heal. This is precisely why the Massillon Museum's mission to continue serving its community during the pandemic became more important than ever before. The ability to connect with one another through art, through meaningful dialogue, and through a greater understanding of history is why MassMU exists. We are so grateful to you, our members, and our board in helping us stay strong, stay focused, and stay supported in fulfilling our obligation to steward history and celebrate art, even in the midst of a global pandemic. We dream big at MassMU, and you all help us realize these dreams. Whether you recognize the value of entrusting the museum with preservation of powerful artwork for our community to enjoy now and for generations to come, like Susan Gessner did 2 years ago with gifting a collection of original Ansel Adams prints, or like Ray Lutz, one of our beloved volunteers who we sadly lost last year, who had the vision to forge a partnership between MassMU and the Elks to provide thousands more big read books to this community over the past several years. Or like any one of our members, any one of you who make MassMU what it is through your pledge and our abilities to produce engaging programs, or volunteering your time, passing along one of your brochures or pieces of MassMU literature, forwarding emails about the museum as advocates, or merely walking through our front doors. It takes many members to make MassMU, And we wouldn't be here to proudly tell these stories if not for each and every one of you. You'll receive your annual report in the next few weeks. And as you read through it, you might wonder for a moment how, during a year like 2020, the museum managed to fill all of the pages with so much content. But then, if you're like me, you'll remember quickly that this is exactly what you'd expect from your Massillon Museum, for it to carry on with vigor, dispatch, and immeasurable joy, even during such a challenging time as this. And to honor its commitment to you, our members, and to our Massillon Museum community, to be the cultural hub where art and history come together, no matter the platform. And so while our platform tonight in communicating with you is that of Zoom and YouTube, and we may have some technical glitches along the way, we're so pleased that we can be here today with you a year after the last time we gathered to let you know the museum's doing well, its history or its continued trajectory is secure, and it's in large part to you. So with that, I'd like to ask Brandon to prepare to cue the video. And I am going to prepare for you to enjoy it without having to see my face on the screen. So Brandon, if you just want to give me a minute so we can wrap up.
Welcome to the Massillon Museum's 2020 Year in Review.
In March of 2020, MassMU began transitioning in-person programs online. Ohio's shelter-in-place order affected the museum's ability to host brown bag lunch lectures, history group, and artist talks, as well as all classes and workshops. In an effort to remain relevant while the museum was closed to the public, MassMU partnered with McKinley Presidential Library and Museum, Canton Museum of Art, National First Ladies Library, Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Denison Railroad Depot Museum. This partnership adopted the hashtag Stark Tusk Museums Unite. Each week on their assigned day, participants provided new and reimagined programming related to their respective institutions. Through the act of reposting and directing viewers to other cultural partners, we expanded outreach and engagement in the community. Virtual puzzles, collections highlights, and audiovisual tours attracted a wide demographic of new supporters to the museum once the shelter-in-place order was lifted.
Artifacts and archives are still being uploaded to our virtual archives online. Our virtual content features more than 19,000 archival images, which have received more than 4 million views.
Curator of Football Heritage, along with various staff members at MassMU, is seen here prepping the Massillon Tigers Ohio Scholastic Football Champions flag for temporary storage before conservation steps are taken to ensure the longevity and preservation of the interesting history of the 15-foot-long, 9-foot-tall flag. At the conclusion of the game in 1942, there was chaos in the stands and on the field. Once the dust settled, the flag was gone. Fast forward to almost 50 years later, when the city received a call from an attorney in Youngstown saying his anonymous client had a huge orange flag and wanted to return it to the city. The flag was stored and eventually hung at the Massillon Tiger Football Booster Club Museum and was deinstalled in the end of October to prepare for its new home at the high school in 2021.
The Massillon Museum has partnered with Sisterhood of Jewels Community Connections, LLC, to document the history of Massillon's Black community and to maintain and integrate representation of this history into the archives, collections, and shared memory of our community. The committee is seeking suggestions for people to record, as well as volunteers to conduct interviews. Our ultimate goal is to develop an exhibition tentatively scheduled for summer 2022 that shares these stories with the public and to continue collecting these stories for generations to come.
Due to COVID-19 and out of an abundance of caution for the volunteers and staff, we implemented a freeze in the volunteer program. This was not a decision made lightly. Volunteerism is at the heart of what we do at MassMU. If ever you have visited the museum, been to an event, or attended a lecture, you have been impacted by our volunteers. We kept volunteers apprised of any updates at the museum and empowered them to still volunteer as safely as possible off-site. We utilized the volunteers for our membership drive with great success. Volunteers for our activities committee created grab-and-go kits to accompany a staff and volunteer-created video for the fall and winter season. At MassMU, we are so appreciative of our volunteers' understanding, patience, and passion. We look forward to reopening the volunteer program when it's safe to do so.
The Massillon Museum was thrilled to partner with the Canton Museum of Art and Canton Symphony Orchestra to present the inaugural Art Educator of the Year Award in 2020. Nominees were licensed art educators in a K-12 public, private, or parochial classroom setting located in the region served by the Stark County Educational Service Center. 5 finalists were recognized during the Canton Symphony Orchestra Masterworks concert on January 25th. Congratulations to Christopher Triner, visual art teacher at Hoover High School and North Canton City School District Art Department Chairman, who was named 2020 Art Educator of the Year.
Studio M is Massillon Museum's designated space for celebrating contemporary art, and it's designed to exhibit artwork in all media. So one accomplishment that I am very proud to say our area did at the museum is creating video presentations to accompany our art exhibitions in 2020. You can also view these online on the Massillon Museum website as well as the Massillon Museum YouTube channel.
Beginning in March, when only essential workers were permitted to be on the job, I proceeded to thoroughly clean areas such as the ceramic studio, mechanical rooms, and the renovated part of the building in preparation of staff returning safely to the museum in May. The filters were changed in the HVAC system, where we implemented to ensure proper sanitization is conducted, and I continue to stay up with the CDC guidelines to ensure the museum is a safe working place for our guests and our staff.
In the school year 2019-2020, the Artful Living and Learning program was serving approximately 1,500 preschool children in 14 school districts in Stark and Carroll County. And then the COVID pandemic hit. Teaching artists were no longer able to go into the classrooms. Their solution was to have their teaching artists create 100 lessons in visual art, in dance, in music, and in drama. They then provided these lessons to the classroom teachers. Artful Living and Learning program is looking forward to resuming regular lessons, hopefully next fall, so that the program can continue to grow and continue to stimulate creativity and academic achievement in the preschool children of Stark and Carroll counties.
Cut Up, Cut Out, having sat quietly in crates for 3 months, this exhibition of cut and manipulated paper, metal, and other materials had a roaring presence once installed in the Altman Health Foundation Gallery. After completing construction on new gallery spaces in March of 2020, the staff was proud to unveil the Massillon History Gallery, the Albert E. Heiss Fine and Decorative Arts Gallery, the Photography Gallery, and 2 spaces currently being installed featuring American Indian artifacts and our ethnographic collections.
2020 marked the 10th year the Massillon Museum held a dedicated membership campaign in its recent history. Each year we set goals to grow our membership base and provide much-needed unrestricted operational support. This year's goals were to have 800 MassMU members and raise $50,000 by the year's end. This was a major goal, especially considering the pandemic and the many struggles our community continues to face. We knew that the success of this campaign depended on the museum increasing its involvement and reach through new and innovative platforms. The museum held weekly member perks throughout the campaign, incentivizing memberships for our community members, and held lectures, workshops, and art activities digitally so MassMU and its resources could be accessible even during the quarantine. The membership campaign recruited over 25 volunteers and all board and staff to help with the effort. This campaign would not have been possible without the support from all of these volunteers. It is with much excitement that I announce that we've once again made both of our campaign goals. Our final member number was 802, just beating our goal of 800. $47,971 was raised during the campaign itself, pushing our total for membership dollars raised in 2020 to $63,979. This was nearly $14,000 more than our goal of $50,000. Our membership campaign collections contest, open to any new member or renewing member who raises their amount of support during the fall campaign, amplified our dollars raised. This contest winner will enjoy a behind-the-scenes virtual tour of the collection storage for up to 10 visitors. The winner of this contest is James Wirtz. Congratulations! Each and every one of our members is to thank for our success. This isn't something that could have been possible without a combined volunteer effort and a community of supporters that truly believe in our mission. I know how tough this past year has been for all of us. Through everyone's dedication, we are building and growing a museum, no matter the circumstances, that will be enjoyed by our public now and for generations. Thank you for all you do for our museum.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for running the video. Thank you, Scott. Thank you to all of the staff. And as you can see, it was quite an amazing year in light of all of the challenges. And Heather, I think you have the floor.
All right. So I just wanted to say to everyone, thank you for being here, being with us. As the video showed, the museum went through a lot of things to make sure that the environment at the museum was safe for not only the staff, but for anyone who was able to come and visit, and to keep programming running in a way that folks could enjoy during the pandemic when we, a lot of us had to stay at home or do different things that didn't allow us to come directly to the museum and enjoy it the way we want to. So I appreciate all the things that the staff did, in keeping it clean and creating videos and programming that allowed us to still have that connection in this very hard time and making sure that we could stay healthy and still have the wonderful content that the museum offers us every year. It has been, for me, a tremendous 6 years of being on the board, of being part of the museum community. This is my final presentation, my final talk to all of you as the chairman of the board, but this has become a family and a place that I will not be leaving, that I will not be walking away from. I will no longer be the chairperson, but I will still be a member of the Massillon Museum community, and I look forward to that for as long as I am able to be here. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for my time here. And let's see, I did make some notes so that I wouldn't just kind of randomly talk to you all. So let me check my notes and make sure that I'm not missing anything here. I also wanted to say thank you to my fellow board members. They have been wonderfully supportive in helping me learn and helping me grow in my board positions that I've had over my time on the museum board. None of the things that we do at the museum that we support as the board would be possible without the members, without the community, without all of the people who know and love this museum and support it in the work that it does. So thank you to all of you for all of your support and the time that you dedicate to the museum, the volunteers, to Alex and her staff, all the folks that do all of the hard work of putting this all together. Thank you so much for everything that you do. You're an awesome group of people. Looking ahead, I think the museum has shown really great, the museum, the staff has shown really great ability to innovate and to change and to grow to meet the challenges that have happened over 2020. And to me, that signifies a very great expression of what could come in 2021. So I am looking forward to 2021 and all of that means for the museum and all of the offerings that are yet to come. Lots of exhibits, lots of productions, things that will happen, whether we get to enjoy those virtually or in person. I know that they will be wonderful, wonderful things for us to enjoy. All right, so next item on our list is the approval of the 2020 annual meeting minutes. I believe there was a link sent out for those meeting minutes. So I'd like to ask for a motion
Oh, and Heather, I do have.
to waive the reading.
Oh.
I'm sorry, go ahead,
Sorry.
Alex.
Nope, you got it. I'm so sorry. Go right ahead.
That's okay. So I'd like to call for a motion to waive the reading of the 2020 annual meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion. This is
And
Jeff.
thank you, Jeff. I was just going to say, for the record, please, when you make the motion, if you are doing it verbally, please state your name. And if you are doing it through the chat, please also state your name.
This is Matthew Onast. I will second Jeff McMahon's motion.
Thank you, Matt. So we have Jeff with the motion and Matt for the second. So then I'd like to ask if there be any discussion, if anyone would like to have any discussion for the annual meeting minutes from 2020. Okay, no discussion then. I will call the vote. Please use your poll that Alex has provided to us to vote yes or no for approval of the 2020 annual meeting minutes. All right, hopefully everyone has had a chance to look at that, and I've just gotten the results from that. The motion passes. The 2020 annual meeting minutes are approved. Next item for approval on our list is to accept the 2020 minutes that we just discussed as we waived the reading of them. So again, with the poll, please everyone take a moment to, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll first need to ask for a motion to accept the 2020 meeting minutes.
This is Dave Harding. I so move.
Thank you, Dave. Can I have a second?
This is Gloria. I second.
Thank you, Gloria. So now we'll move to time to use the poll to vote yes or no to accept the 2020 annual meeting minutes. I'll give that just a second until.
And Heather, Mandy brought to my attention that those watching on YouTube cannot see the poll. So we can just make sure to, as you did previously, just mention the results of the poll at the end at the conclusion.
Absolutely. Okay, I've just received the results of the poll, so the 2020 annual meeting minutes are approved unanimously. All right, so moving on to the next item on our agenda, acceptance to the 2020 Board of Directors. The board is recommending for appointment to second 3-year terms, Gloria Pope and Brad Richardson. Again, Gloria and Brad have been on the board for 3 years now and are going into their second 3-year term. So I'd like to have a motion to approve the appointment of Gloria and Brad to their second 3-year terms.
Heather, this is Margaret, and I move that we approve Gloria and Brad for their second 3-year term.
Thank you, Margaret. Can I have a second?
This is Dave Harding. I second.
Thank you, Dave. All right, and the poll has appeared. So again, we're getting to be old hands at this. Please use the poll to vote yes or no for the approval and ratification of board members Gloria Pope and Brad Richardson to their second 3-year terms on the board. Give everyone a few minutes to do that. Wait for the results to pop up. I almost feel like maybe we should have had a little Jeopardy music while we wait for the results.
I know, right? And Heather, you are not allowed to vote. If anyone wonders why it doesn't reach the full participant number, we have 28 people. I am not allowed to vote in my role as host. Heather, as in her role as chair, cannot vote. So that's part of the reason why it doesn't hit the 27.
Okay, I just got the results in, and the approval and ratification of board members Gloria Pope and Brad Richardson to their second 3-year terms on the Massillon Museum board is approved. Thank you for that. So next item on our list, we have, this one's going to take a couple minutes longer. We have 2 new members joining that have been recommended by the board, and 1 returning board member that have all been recommended by the board to be appointed for their first 3-year terms. First, we have Marta Hanson. Marta is a resident of Jackson Township. She is also a retired audiologist who worked at a clinic in Perry Township for 37 years. For most of her career, she was at the clinic in Perry Township. Marta's family, with her parents and herself, have a history of appreciation of art and history. It's become something of a family tradition for them. So we'd like to welcome Marta Hanson to the board. We also have Andrew Byler. Andrew Byler is an attorney with Kuliak, Wilkins, Griffiths, and Doherty. He lives in Perry Township with his wife and their dog Moose. And I believe, if I remember correctly, they are going to be welcoming their first child this June. And then as a returning board member, we have David Schultz, who has hopefully is well known to you all. He has spent 40 years on the Massillon Museum board at various times, having been in various positions. And so we are very happy to recommend as a board David Schultz as a returning member, Andrew Byler as a new member, and Marta Hanson as a new member. So for the 3 new members, with David being new-ish, Can I have a motion to approve the three people that I just talked about for their first 3-year terms to the board?
This is Gloria. I move to accept the roster as presented for a 3-year term.
Thank you, Gloria. I believe Eric.
Second.
I believe Eric Myers, I've got in the comments, Eric Myers approved as well, or moved as well. So, and I think he got that in just before Gloria started. So I will take Eric as my motion and Gloria as my second. And then I will call the vote on approval and ratification of Marta Hanson, Andrew Byler, and David Schultz to their first 3-year terms on the Massillon Museum Board. Please again use the poll to vote yes or no. And the little Jeopardy music playing solely in my head while I wait on the results. Okay, results in. The motion is approved. Thank you, everyone. And with that, I will move on to the presentation of the board-approved slate of officers for 2021. This new slate of officers was approved by the board of directors in a previous business meeting today. So may I present to you
Uh-oh, we seem to have frozen.
Gloria Pope as chair. I'm sorry?
Oh, you had frozen right when you said.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And it's okay. And if board members could turn their videos on, and then we can see who you're announcing as the slate.
Sure. I'll start over again then. So we have our approved slate here, which was approved by the board of directors at a previous meeting. We have Gloria Pope, who will be our chair. We have David Harding, who will be our vice chair. We have Margaret Coughlin, who will be our secretary. And we have Phil Elam, who will be our treasurer.
Congratulations.
Yay. So exciting. I think the group of folks that we have approved to bring on to the board for their second 3-year terms, for their first 3-year terms, and as our new slate of officers are a wonderful group of people. I think our board of directors have been very good and supportive of the museum, and I believe that going forward, this is going to be a great team for the Massillon Museum. All right, Alex, that's what I have. I think it's time for me to hand the mic over to you.
Okay. Well, I'd love it if you as board members, if you'd like to turn your videos on. I'm sorry, I keep asking you, turn them on, turn them off, turn them on. But I'd love for the membership to be able to see you, our leadership here at the Massillon Museum, because you are doing the work behind the scenes and you are helping guide us through successes, through challenges. You're always there. This is an amazing board. These hardworking individuals are devoted, they are volunteers, and they work on committees, and they really represent the museum in the truest sense of being stewards of this organization. So I wanted to take this opportunity on behalf of the entire staff to thank you for your tireless efforts and your genuine compassion for and dedication to the museum. So this is the point in time that is always bittersweet, because at the same time we acknowledge the tremendous contributions these people made. We say goodbye for now, maybe not forever, hopefully not forever. Definitely not forever, because once in the museum fold, you can't escape. So I wanted to start by thanking Maud Slagle for completing another set of 6 years and for her tireless efforts in helping assist on finance committee and building and grounds committee, again, which she can still participate on as a non-board member. I love that I can see Maud on a daily basis because she works next door. And she's just always been there to help us in whatever capacity is needed and been a tremendous advocate. And as a member of our nominating committee, helped secure fabulous new talent we see on our board as well. And of course, Maud has become a dear friend to me and to so many of us. And Maud, I love you. And I thank you so much for everything you've done. And I know we'll continue to do for the museum. But in this official capacity, I wanted to thank you for the past 6 years, which have flown by, truly, and for being such a great champion of the museum.
Well, thank you for those lovely words, and I enjoy every minute of it. So it's been my pleasure and my honor.
Thank you, Maud. And Matthew, when Matthew was introduced to the museum as a potential board member, we'd never met, just as Heather and I had never met. And it was through Leadership Stark County that we had the pleasure of being introduced to him and Heather both. And Matthew has been such a wonderful supporter of our endeavors to connect some more corporate support to the museum, has had such great creative ideas as it relates to event development, and has wanted to see us launch a podcast, which is finally going to happen in 2021. That was a great idea that Matt planted in our minds. Whether donning a suit and helping offer expertise from his knowledge of the legal field, or rolling up his sleeves and washing dishes for a celebrity chef event because it needed to happen. Matthew has been there for the museum these past 5 years and has also been just a tireless champion for the museum. So Matthew, we're really going to miss you. And I hope some other museum in your neck of the woods is lucky enough to snag your mentorship and leadership as well. Thank you for everything you've done for the museum.
Thank you, Alex. It's been a fantastic 5 years. I've learned just a ton that I hope to move forward whether in a museum or just in my daily life. I've really enjoyed the last 5 years and meeting everybody, and I hope that I get to see you all around anyways. I'm not going to be a stranger, so.
Better not be. And Heather, Heather was among the trustees, like others of you, I think Maud included, who upon the first introduction to the museum board was really introduced to the museum for the first time. Maybe not, they had knowledge, as I'm sure Heather had knowledge of the museum. Of course, she'd served on the board of the Canton Ballet and of course had been supportive of the arts, but hadn't really been folded into the life of the museum, and took a chance on us, as did Matt and Maud and others of you who didn't grow up with the museum. And the extent to which she dived in and gave tirelessly of her time and energy and ideas, especially as we've been navigating the challenging landscape of social justice in our world and working to bring the staff together around the topic of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Heather's leadership has been tremendous through one of the most arduous years that any of us has ever lived through. And Heather's also done a phenomenal job representing the museum in Washington in front of members of Congress and at state level government, as also acting to support the Ohio Arts Council and demonstrating to others what it means to be a synergistic board in concert with a great staff. And so I thank you, Heather, for your friendship, for your time, for your leadership, and am so glad to know that you're going to stay connected with the museum too in some committee capacities. And you've done a tremendous job. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. It's been wonderful being part of the board. I think I might be cutting out though. Video is a little bit sketchy, but it has been a wonderful 6 years. And like Matt, I have learned a lot and really look forward to continuing to be part of the museum.
Well, we shouldn't delay. We shouldn't, what am I trying to say? Perpetuate the sadness, because all of you are going to be continued supporters and advocates of the museum. So it's not really goodbye.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Thank you for that, Alex. So for closing remarks, well, I'm going to use the excuse that my video and connection are a little bit sketchy to, kind of keep it all together and all that good stuff. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you to our new members and our returning members. Thank you to Matt and Maud for their commitment to the board over their time with us. Thank you to Alex and the staff for all of the wonderful things that you all do on a regular daily basis. Thank you to the membership, the supporters, the watchers, and all of the folks that participate in and help support and make the museum the wonderful, awesome thing that it is. So this is kind of where Matt is my sidekick, and I look to him and I go, "Hey, Matt, it's your last time right now to call the vote so that to make the motion so that we can adjourn this meeting before it gets any more tears."
I will make my last motion as in my current run as a board member to adjourn the annual meeting.
Thank you, Matt. Can I have a second?
I'll second. Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, we will call the vote, and our trustee poll has appeared. Please vote yes or no. Once we get our little results in. All right. The motion is approved. We will adjourn our 2021 annual meeting. Thank you all for joining us and dealing with us as we move through all of the technical glitches and the slow speech. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you all in 2021.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.